I'm new to YouTube. I am going to be reviewing handheld games because nobody's doing that right now. There's console games being reviewed, PC games being reviewed, and every now and then you have a handheld game. But I want to see more of these, and not just the bad ones, the good ones too, like the ones I grew up with, like Zelda, Pokemon, Kid Niki. Yeah, Kid Niki. That I'll be reviewing. I'm Distrotion, and I review handheld games in 3, 2, 1. So, I guess I should welcome you all to the very first episode of Power in the Palm of Your Hand. I am your host, and today's subject is Kid Niki. What is Kid Niki? A Japanese arcade game. What, you were expecting like a huge character in Japan, an anime character? No, it's just an arcade game. To be fair, I didn't know anything about the game except that it was called Kid Niki, so I went and Googled it. And that means I went on Wikipedia. Here's what I can understand. The game started off as a Japanese arcade game. It got ported to the NES, and later on, a sequel was made on the Game Boy. The NES version came to North America, but not the Game Boy version. And all in all, I don't care about that. What I care about is the fact that I did not play this on the NES. I played it on a Game Boy Advance SP, on a Game Boy cartridge. You know what that means.
Freeze! Vegan police! Vegan police!
Hacks. Yes, hacks. And to make sure everybody at home knows what hacks are, I'm going to have my very first half-educational moment. Roll the clip. Hello, everybody. My name is Professor Cuban. Yes, laugh it off now. You won't remember it in 2 hours, I swear. So today's subject, I am told, is hacking. Ugh. Unlike popular belief, hacking is not going into somebody else's computer to cause that person's data harm or humiliate the person. In fact, it's a lot more low life. You are going to get humiliated. Hacking is going into a program, maybe good or really bad, and using its source code as your own. Sometimes it can give funny little games like Pokemon sprites in a Zelda game. Shiny. But when you don't call a hack and use it as your own, and even worse, sell it, then it becomes illegal. Also, did you know that hack means actually cut? I am Dr. Cuban, and this was a moment. Jolly ho. Thank you, good doctor. Dude, what was his name? What do you mean you don't know? We met him like 2 hours ago. It started with a C. Didn't you take any notes? Okay. Never mind. Anyway, he forgot to talk about hack packs, which is how I played Kid Niki. Hack packs contain lots of hacks/ROMs that are either hacks or ROMs. They are either real games or fake games. But let's move on and talk about Kid Niki itself. Now, when you first start up Kid Niki, all you're going to see is that title screen. And the first thing you're going to ask yourself is...
What do I do? Why?
So, yeah, you have to start fighting right away. Well, almost right away. The important thing is that there's no in-game story, but I did do some research, which means I went on Wikipedia and found out what I needed to find out. It turns out that the story is very simple. Kid Niki was practicing his radical ninja skills when all of a sudden this bird gets shot down from the sky and lands on his feet. So on the bird is this note addressed to Kid Niki saying his girlfriend's been kidnapped. I guess he's having a really bad day. A dead bird falls on his feet, His girlfriend's been kidnapped, and he has to go save her. How much do you want to bet this guy's in charge?
No, we really should be thanking each other. I mean, if it wasn't for me, Ramona would never have been with you, but if it wasn't for you, she wouldn't have gotten back with me, so I guess it all shakes out, huh?
The game's graphics are okay. They're not beautiful nor horrible, but they do look recycled. As for the sound, it's repetitive yet not annoying. It's in that sweet spot where it's not memorable nor harmful. But the best part of the game is not the sound or the graphics. It's actually the enemies and the weapon you're using at all times. That weapon is named the Spinning Sword. I'm not joking. It may be a silly name and it may be a silly weapon because it doesn't even look like a sword, but it's fun to use, and it's probably the only reason why I always come back to Kid Niki. Also, it has a tendency to send enemies into space and produce Twinkie bars. What? Joking aside, the game is real fun when you start beating up your enemies and sending them into space. The enemies are so varied. I've only played 6 levels and I've seen up to 8 enemies, and I'm not counting the bosses. But I'm going to list them all anyway. First off, you have the Thug. He runs at you for no reason and is easy to kill. Doesn't that remind you of something better? Probably not. After that, you have the Bird that shits fireballs. I shit you not. The next enemy is a bunny. Yeah. I feel really evil now. Thank you. Thank you very much, game. Anyway, next enemy is the hermit crab. Yeah, there's not a lot to say, except that his shell is a shield, and you can't use that shell. So, let's move on. The next enemy is a dinosaur that runs up to you, shoots a grenade, the grenade explodes, and the dinosaur runs off screen and is never seen again. Is he related to Yoshi? Now, once you reach Area 2, you'll meet 3 new enemies, excluding the bosses, of course. And the first one you meet should be the walruses with horns on their heads. Yeah, I don't get it either, but let's just roll with it. Next, you should see a cloud that shoots pellets upwards, and these pellets hurt you. Don't touch them. And finally, the most awesome is kept for last, the very popular Tornado Monster. What do you mean you never heard of him? Okay, you know what? Never mind. Sword hitting tornado equals tornado loses. Shakespeare, can you clarify?
You know not what you do!
Yeah, sorry, that doesn't really answer my question, but I do feel more educated. Moving on now. The first boss in the game is this huge cat that takes 2 strikes to, I don't know, send into orbit. It's easy to beat, it's bullshit. Moving on. The second boss, though, is a pain. You see, the problem with the game is you can't shoot upwards, and the boss is over your head shooting downwards. Oh, did I mention he takes 4 hits in the head? I'm not hardcore enough to beat him. I'm also rusty. If you guys want to try, go for it. Yeah, so, Kid Niki, not a Game of the Year title. Who cares? You see, it's a game, and it's there to have fun. And anyway, if you're playing a game and not having fun, why the hell didn't you turn it off yet? Also, these games, just saying it, is not meant to be high-end graphics and not supposed to have huge stories, mostly the older ones, since basically they're there to replace your console when you can't use it. Basically like on the road to your grandma's house who lives far, far, far away, or your brother and sister's activities, the dumb ones, like on Saturday morning during your cartoon time. Yeah, those activities. My name is Distrotion, and I play handheld games, and I know I have the power in the palm of my hand.
Hey, this is Distrotion, and this is legit. legit.